So some of you know this phone as the Redmi Note 9 Pro, some of you know it as the Redmi 9S, but for us here in the Philippines, this is the Redmi Note 9S, a phone that just went global a couple of days ago, and the folks over at Xiaomi Philippines were kind enough to send us a review unit to check out and share our experience with you guys. But don't worry, this isn't a sponsored video. Hey guys, Jamie here. Welcome back to the channel where we take awesome out of the box. In this one, we're going to be checking out this mid-range powerhouse that costs less than 11,000 pesos or 10,490 to be exact. So let's take it out of the box and check it out. Okay guys, so believe it or not, I did resist the urge to unbox this device before shooting this video to be able to share the experience with you guys. So this is it. This is the box for the Redmi Note 9S, and as you can see on the bottom, this is the variant with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, and this is the Aurora Blue color variant, which I think I saw in Isa's video, and I'm pretty excited to see it in person myself. So let's get right into it. Let's get Okay, so as usual, medyo mahirap siyang tanggalin sa box, and there you go. Of course, you have this little cardboard partition which holds, I'm pretty much guessing this is the one with the SIM ejector tool right there. And then you have the documentation, which is a quick start guide and the warranty information. Yeah, a warranty card and then your user guide. So let's set that aside. And of course, meron din siyang kasamang jelly case. So this is the one for the Redmi Note 9S. And it's clear, I've been seeing some of it in a frosted black colored variant, but I think this is the one we're getting, which is clear, which is not bad. At least may kasama siyang case. Alright, so let's move on to the phone itself. Pretty excited to check this out. Again, we have the Aurora Blue color variant. Yes, it is the same one that we saw in Isa's video. It looks spectacular. And then you have the highlighted specs up in front, which we will discuss a little bit later, but just to quickly read it out, you have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G, a 48-megapixel main camera, a 6.67-inch display, so that's pretty huge, and you have a massive battery capacity as well at 5,020 milliamp hours with 18-watt fast charge, so that's pretty good. At least you have some sort of fast charging for this phone. Anyway, let's dig into this box a little bit more and see what else is inside. So, as usual, of course, may kasama siyang charger, which I hope this is the 18-watt charger. Most likely it is. So there you go, that is the charger. And then you have a USB-C cable, which is great as well. All right, so let's move on to the phone itself. But before everything else, let's do that very, very satisfying peel. I hope you can hear it on my microphone. There it is, guys. And I usually slide these phones out, but this one is pretty sticky. And there you go. This is the Aurora Blue color variant. And yeah, let's start talking about the phone, see what's special about it. And I'm going to remove more stickers so that you just get a clear shot of the device. Alright guys, so now that we have everything kind of set up, let's get a couple of things out of the way. As I mentioned at the start of this video, the base model for the Redmi Note 9S with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage costs 10,490 pesos. But as you saw in the unboxing, we have the higher tiered variant with us with 6GB and 128GB respectively, and that will set you back 11,990, which isn't too bad of a price bump. So if you can spare that extra 1,500 pesos, this is the variant that you want to get. Now, while unboxing the device, I have already mentioned the key specs of the Redmi Note 9S, but it is worth repeating. To go along with the RAM and storage, of course, at the heart of this device is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G with an Adreno 618 GPU. You're getting a pretty large display that measures in at 6.67 inches at Full HD Plus resolution with an IPS panel and Gorilla Glass 5 protection, plus a large battery capacity of 5,020 milliamp hours that supports 18-watt fast charging. Now guys, as you saw, the phone was still in its shrink wrap, so there's definitely a few more days of testing to get to a full review, but here are some of my first impressions for the Redmi Note 9S. First, I like it how all brands are starting to move away from gradient designs because it was getting a little played out. You're looking at the Aurora Blue color variant of the Redmi Note 9S, but it is available in two other colorways, interstellar gray, and glacier white. You're getting a high gloss finish on this device, and just like the screen, you're also getting a glass panel with Gorilla Glass 5 protection on the back. Now, Xiaomi says it also has a splash-proof coating, but I'm not about to test it out in this video. The second thing I'm liking so far with this phone's design is that you're not getting a huge camera bump at the back, and the symmetrical look with the camera array is a good break from phones that we've been seeing lately that tend to favor the upper left-hand corner. More on the cameras later. Anyway, the phone's frame has a matte finish, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's made out of plastic, but it does have a nice feel to it. But because of the way the phone is constructed, having glass panels sandwiching that frame, it does feel a little wider because of the lack of curves. You are getting a side-mounted fingerprint scanner / power button on this phone, which, just in case you're new to the channel, I quite dig, and recently learned that left-handed folk use their index finger to unlock the devices with a similar setup. It's pretty quick and accurate so far, and that's always a good thing. You've also got the volume rocker just above it as well. You've got a triple slotted SIM tray on the left side of the phone, an IR blaster on top as well as a microphone, and on the bottom you've got a speaker grill, a 3.5mm jack, another microphone, and of course the USB Type-C port. I think this is gonna be the third time that I mentioned it, but the Redmi Note 9S does have a huge screen. It measures in at 6.67 inches, IPS panel at Full HD Plus resolution. It's pretty much the standard you get with most smartphones in and around the same price point, so don't expect it to be mind-blowing, but it is decent for binge-watching Netflix shows over the ECQ or playing games if that's what you're thinking about getting this device for. Sadly, the bottom speaker isn't that good, and you will get a bit of distortion if you push it past 70%, so it is a good thing that you have a 3.5mm jack on this device. Now, I'm sure you've noticed it, heard about it, or saw it from someone else's video, but there is a rather large punch hole that houses the 16-megapixel front camera, and let's just say, I'm not a fan, but I think it's something I'll learn to ignore. I will be sharing a few sample selfies later, so stay tuned. Now, in terms of performance, I am pretty happy with what I'm seeing so far. Again, most of you will probably look to pick up this phone for gaming, and it does fairly decent given the time I've spent with it. You're looking at some NBA 2K20 gameplay with the settings at medium to high, and it is definitely playable, but I will be hitting you guys up with a gaming review for this phone in the next few days. So if you haven't already, sub to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on that video. Now, everyday tasks like browsing through your social media feeds should be handled easy enough on this phone, and I can see myself getting some work done on it as well, but let's see if my opinion changed after a couple more days with this device as my daily driver. Now, for software, you are getting MIUI 11 on top of Android 10, and again, you have that massive 5020 mAh battery that I'm guessing should last at least a day and a half to 2 days, depending on how hard I will push the device. Alright, so let's talk about the cameras, and again, I dig the design of the camera array plus that symmetrical look, but you are getting a good setup as well. It has a 48-megapixel main camera with Samsung's ISOCELL GM2 sensor, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera, a 2-megapixel depth sensor, and a 5-megapixel macro lens. Here are a few sample photos that I've been able to take around the house, and of course, a couple of selfies as well. Of course, guys, there's still some testing to be done with the cameras of the Redmi Note 9S. I want to see how it does in low light conditions, but let us know what you think about the camera sample so far, or what you think about the entire phone in general in the comment section down below. Would you consider picking up this phone? Now, personally guys, I think the Redmi Note 9S has all the signature Xiaomi moves. A great processor, a decent set of cameras, a big battery all wrapped up in a good looking chassis, but most important of all, it has a really aggressive price point. Now, I can't give a verdict just yet, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you are eyeing this device already. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for spending a couple of minutes with me. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, sub to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our content. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. For all the latest tech news and gadget reviews, head to unbox.ph, plus follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. My name is Jamie. Peace, God bless, stay safe, guys. See you next time.